You can now turn a single image into a fully interactive 3D environment, which you can move the objects within a few minutes.
Wow.
This is something that really blew my mind when I saw the demo. The way it works is that you will orchestrate a bunch of models together. The AI agents will look at the image, they identify different objects. Then they will create an image from every single object, send it to a 3D generation model. So the 3D model with mesh will be generated. Because now we have the images of different objects, we can hide them from our environment. So we are left off with a static environment and the 3D objects within the scene. Then the AI agents will go and add collider to the scene. And now you can import this interactive 3D scene into Blender, Unreal Engine, Unity, or any other 3D tools that you have. This is something that we've been waiting for the longest time, but the reason that we are here now is because all of the different AI models, the 3D generation, the image generation, are now so good, even the agentic AI, that you can spawn multiple agents, do different tasks at the same time. Now we are here at this stage, and if you look at the demo, the guy posts a photo of a street.
Go back and just pause on that frame so we can describe a little bit back, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yes, this is perfect.
Back a little bit before they lift the chair. Yeah.
That was good. No, Farah, that was good. That was
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I want to see a comparison to the. Yes, this one. Okay.
So the image is at the bottom right corner of the screen, right? So it's image of an alley. You can see there's a table, there are chairs, there's one umbrella, there is a few other things on the left side. The first thing that the AI agents will do, they will go and describe the scene. They will name the object. They will create a list.
And it's done using Claude.
Yes, yeah, but you can change them. The best part about it is there's a GitHub repo. You can go and use different generation models for this.
I think Claude has proven to be the smartest for
in
these
detection.
kind of jobs.
Yes.
I'm noticing a lot of companies by default use Claude for these things, Higgsfield being one of them.
Yes.
Even by default, it's on Claude when you go into supercomputer. In their own videos, they're using Claude for their skills.
For the skills,
and
really
here
strong.
in this video as well, I believe they were using and talking about Claude. So,
by the way, shout out to Word Labs. I explained the entire thing without even telling that this is done by one of the team members in Word Labs. The entire orchestration of putting different parts together, identifying, turning into photo, removing the objects, and then turning them into 3D. By the way, the environment will be 3D Gaussian splat at the end. Very lightweight. You can go into it. You can design different things. I can think about a lot of applications because we tested with 3D Gaussian splat a lot. Imagine a scene from a movie. You can do it with that. Imagine taking this into VR. From a photo, take it to the VR. There are a lot of use cases for this, and I think this is super, super exciting. What do you think, Faris?
I was fascinated by the way the process works. As Farhan mentioned, so many different technologies had to improve simultaneously to make this possible. The original image being described perfectly, that means Claude and LLMs had to have incredible vision models and then be able to translate that into text. Furthermore, once it is described, then we had to be able to have enough quality in our 3D generation tools such as Tripo or Trellis to be able to create the 3D meshes as these objects have been discovered by the LLMs. And that has to be done relatively quickly as well with the material generation and the textures and the UV unwrapping and so on and so forth.
There's so much going on. The fact that people look at it and it's done in minutes, but there's so much work in the back end.
And exactly. And then for the LLM to recognize what the objects are against the background, against the environment, and then try to isolate those so that it can create a new prompt to edit that image with the objects now removed using probably Nano Banana Pro or GPT Image 2.0. Again, Nano Banana Pro and GPT Image 2.0 are relatively new. Before these models, being able to edit an image really quickly and consistently and accurately was almost impossible. But because the image models have also improved, you get to have that environment without the chair now slapped onto the texture. You know, the environment of the walls are now cleaned up.
Yeah, and you know, having the collider, remember when we first started working with 3D Gaussian splat, was it 2 years ago. I think
Even
it's
just
been
for
2
viewing
years, right?
purposes.
Viewing. The colliders had problem.
No.
You would go through the wall.
Yes.
Now this is perfect. You can see
You would
that
have holes in the environment.
You identify every single corner of the room, and it's 360 degree. The photo is just one angle. Now the guy goes and turn around. It generates everything. The more I look at this, we are living in a simulation. If in 2020, what are we, 6? Yes, if 2026 we have this technology, by 2036, this is so advanced that I can put you in an environment, a fictional environment, you won't even realize it's fictional. This is a simulation. Matrix, wake up.
If you have
Neo.
haptic sensors and so on and so forth to be able to sense the environment as well.
Why haptic sensors? You're going to have brain chips.
Oh my
well.
God, back to the conversation of putting something in our brain. But this is very exciting.
I'm actually thinking about virtual production.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
virtual production.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because you
No,
want
think about
control.
it.
You
No,
want
think
control,
about it.
yes.
I want to create an ad or a movie shot in an alley like this. There's a lot of objects. I want to be able to move the objects. The director is going to ask you.
Oh, that
hey,
was the
I wanna
biggest
move-
problem with Gaussian split
Exactly.
initially. True.
So they'd buy assets online, of course, or they'd have to manually create them. And the biggest problem is when there is virtual production happening, this is some extra knowledge for you if you don't know, during the shoots, there's always CG artists on standby to make changes and modify the scenes depending on the director's vision, because he might have planned something in the storyboard but wants to change it last minute. Let's say when they're doing The Mandalorian, there's a massive rock, and for whatever reason, that rock has to be moved.
Yeah.
If the assets and the environment were created like this, they technically have control to move things around now.
They can even add. They can
They
even
can
add
add, they can
anything.
change, they
Imagine
can test. Oh, actually testing.
testing. Imagine I want to add a
for-
Blade Runner car right in that alley, and I want to see
and
it.
how fast they can iterate on different scenes. It's insane. I think for virtual production, this is going to be really interesting.
Actually, we should, Faraz, give it a try. It's a GitHub repo, right? They haven't brought it into World Labs yet.
It's
I
open
think.
source, I believe.
Yeah, so you can go on GitHub. Yes, it's there. We should definitely
It's called
give it a
Image
try.
Blaster. It's created
I
by
love it.
Nielsen.
Yeah,
Shout out.
we really need to give him a shout out. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Let us know what you guys think about this. Are you going to try it out or not? Since it's open source, you can go ahead and try it out today. And let us know what you guys think about it.